This is a notice of appeal.
I'm not about to get the Iceman album until 2027.
You guys know by now, a few weeks ago, Drake and his legal team lost their lawsuit against UMG and Kendrick Lamar, but from the way things are looking, Drake is not going down without a fight, and he just appealed this.
To review or fact check, or I don't want to say fact check, or double check the judge's official initial ruling? Is that what we're doing here?
Yo, PopPulse fam was popping. Welcome back to PopPulse Reacts, the home of raw hip-hop moments and real reactions. Before we dive in, hit that like button, share this video, and smash that subscribe so you never miss the culture shaking moments. Today, we got a full lineup of reactors breaking down Drake's latest move, filing the notice of appeal after his UMG lawsuit got tossed out. From legal experts to hip-hop commentators, the takes are wild and the reactions even wilder. Let's break down what went down, from the timing of the appeal to what it means for Drake's career. First things first, the timing. Every reactor caught it. Drake files his appeal the day after he sued over Steak. Coincidence? Nah, this move smelled like a PR smokescreen.
Yeah, guys, so what do we think? Anybody else think the timing is just a little, I don't know, suspicious?
Drake and his legal team have just filed an appeal after they lost to Kendrick Lamar and UMG.
Let's not skip over the timing of all of this, right? Because this appeal hit the docket literally the next day, one day after the news broke that he's being sued by the state of Missouri, I believe it is, alongside Steak and Aiden Ross for deceptive practices and fake online gambling schemes. Like, he's literally running a fucking Ponzi scheme with Steak and with Aiden Ross. And so it's perfect timing. It's a perfect distraction headline for him to drop this appeal.
Drake officially filed his notice of appeal. Shout out to the company man. He just posted this. Aubrey Drake Graham, plaintiff versus UMG Recording Incorporated. Defendant. You know what I'm saying? Notice of appeal. Plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham hereby appeals from the district court's opinion and order entered, these words are too damn small, on October 9th, 2025, in the above caption case to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. So this is October 29th, y'all. October 29th.
We are gathered here on this glorious morning because Drake needs a PR distraction. Obviously, we don't know if he was going to file this notice of appeal, but he has filed this notice of appeal, and the timing is a little suspect, because, as I mentioned, did I mention? I don't know if I mentioned. Did I mention? Drake got his whole ass suit off yesterday in a proposed class action brought by the citizens of the great state of Missouri, wherein he was accused of being an unofficial mascot for Steak, wherein he and others could manipulate and lie to people about their bets and their winnings and all of those things so that he could turn his fan base into a bunch of gambling degenerates.
And so it's perfect timing. It's a perfect distraction headline for him to drop this appeal and say, don't pay attention to that one. Pay attention to this one. Like, you knew I was going to do this one. Let's just pay attention to this one. Let's forget about me scamming my fans. let's fuck that. This is the damage control. Like, this is clearly a diversion tactic from Drake.
Next up, let's clear it up. a notice of appeal isn't a win. It's basically Drake saying, yo, I still want to fight. No new evidence, no fresh witnesses, just paperwork that could drag into 2027.
This is a notice of appeal. Technically, this document is 3 pages, but the notice of appeal is basically 1 page. It looks like this. That's it. That's the substance of it. Plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham hereby appeals from the district court's opinion, an order entered on October 9, 2025, in the above captioned case to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, dated today.
I'm not about to get the Iceman album until 2027. God damn. Shout out Absolutely. She went live. It was like 700 people in the chat. Everybody wanted to know what notice of appeal meant, including me. I was in there being nosy. What the hell's going on? Notice of appeal ain't got shit to do with appeal at the moment. It's just the beginning process to start up the appeal.
Is get the courts to review or fact check, or I don't want to say fact check, or double check the judge's official initial ruling? Is that what we're doing here? We're saying, hey, check her work, see if she did it right, because we don't think she did it right. That's what I'm hearing. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me know in the comments, please. As for UMG, they quickly made it clear that they were pleased with the outcome. From the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression, and never should have seen the light of day, they said. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. So this is giving a little bit of information on it. So Drake filed his lawsuit in January of this year. In it, he alleged that UMG artificially inflated the success of Kendrick Lamar's hit diss track "Not Like Us." He alleged that as a result, the false and malicious narrative that he's an alleged predator. I feel like that's worded weirdly. In her ruling, Judge Danette Vargas argued that Kendrick's song lyrics can't be considered defamatory. According to her, they are unlikely to be perceived as truth by most listeners. So again, according to her, which is why I believe they're bringing this up to an appeal to see if they can get another, basically a second opinion. But at this point, even if you get somebody on your side to to agree with you and say, yeah, I think people can perceive it as defamatory, then UMG just appeals again and says, well, no, wait. She said it first. Now let's get somebody else to agree. So we're just gonna be caught up in appeals for forever with no real win? What?
What's not in here? The grounds for his appeal. You don't see that in here. What's not in here? New evidence. Right? What's not in here? An actual appeal. Right? There's no document on the docket or on a new docket that is an actual something that we would read here. Say, okay, here's Drake's argument. You don't see that here because that's not how the appeals process works. It's very different than the typical litigation and is not going to go anything like what we went through following the lawsuit itself before it was dismissed.
To the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, dated today, October 29th, and respectfully submitted by Michael J. Gottlieb, who is Drake's lawyer. So they're moving forth. I assume I'm no expert in this, but I assume a filing comes next. So we'll kind of see what exactly they plan to appeal on, like the basis and the argument they're going to put forth for appeal. But what I assume is that there's some type of timeline that you have, some type of deadline to file an appeal. So this is the notice for appeal. This starts the process, right? And I think a bigger filing with more information will come soon. Just wanted to cover this to be fair. You know what I'm saying? We covered when the case was dismissed, and so now it's a notice to appeal. Just to backtrack a little bit, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I don't think this is a full video. I think we need more information. But you know, when we went through that, and thank you for everybody who watched that long video of me going through the entire dismissal, the ruling, the paperwork, how it seemed to me and how I interpreted it. And you know, I'm not a lawyer. You know, this is just me using what I know about the music industry and just common sense and just following the case. So there are absolutely people more knowledgeable than me.
All right, Pop Pulse fam, time to call in the expert. Let's have Abso-fucking-lutely give us that real breakdown. She mapped out the whole thing, the notice, the timeline, the next filings, and how this appeal could stretch way into 2027. This is the part where you realize Drake's not just in court, he's in for the long haul.
Okay, so this is how it goes. The party files a notice of appeal with the original court. The court, okay, in this case, the Southern District of New York, then sends a notice to the U.S. Court of Appeals. In this case, it's what's known as the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. They then send a notice to the Court of Appeals saying, we have received a notice of appeal, okay? The Court of Appeals sets up a separate, brand new docket with a new case number and all of that. The original court they're not done with their job. They then have to prepare the official court record. And that is basically everything that has happened in this case, the whole docket, okay? And the docket record as it has been maintained by court staff. They have to prepare that, and then they have to transmit it to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals.
He's not going out without a fight. So it's very possible this thing could be drug out for an additional year. Now, let's just say Southern District of New York does the right thing and says, get the fuck out of here. Then we can move on. But we'll just have to see how they play it.
And the Second Circuit then, you know, they create a new docket, they assign it a new case number, and then they go through the process of setting up the docket, right? And kind of sort of all parties participate in this because they've got to get the official record from the Second Circuit Court of Appeals onto the docket. All of the lawyers that are going to be working on this on behalf of the parties, they have to come onto that docket as well. There's a bunch of technical, formal, boring things that have to happen, and it can take from hours to days to weeks to sometimes months for just the docket to get properly prepared. And during that time, there is no appeal document filed, because the Second Circuit of Appeals determines the schedule. Once the case is there, they determine the schedule going forward. And once they have the docket all ready, everybody is in place, they will issue an order to Drake and tell him when he needs to file the appeal by. And that could be anywhere from 90 days plus on.
It could very well take over a year for the appeals court to rule on Drake's case, prolonging a messy legal drama that has captivated the music industry and, at times, drawn ridicule in the hip-hop world. If the appeal court sides with Drake, it could mean years more litigation after that. And from every lawyer that I've seen even take on this topic, they don't feel that he has much of a case. But what the fuck is all of this jambalaya?
So you're looking at from today, his, this moves us into 2026. So his appeal, thinking about how many days, I don't have a month-day calculator just in my brain. Not all of AI ABSA has powered up this morning, okay? But based on the rudimentary math happening in my head right now. His actual appeal, the actual document that we will gather and read together to determine, okay, what are his grounds for his appeal, will be filed next year in January. Maybe at the end of this year, very late December, probably into January or February, March, just depending on the circumstances of that document, okay? What the court dictates and then what the appellant requires to be able to file it. So that happens. And then the court, in that determining what the schedule is going to be for this case, they then also tell UMG when their submission is due to the docket, and that will come several months after the actual appeal document is filed, okay? And then from there, so let me stop there. So the appeal document is not based on new evidence. They cannot enter new evidence. It is not based on a new argument, a new legal standard, saying, oh, we found something new. Please reconsider. This is not that, okay? A lot of people conflate in their mind components that they are just aware of out there, of a criminal process and a civil process, a federal process, a local process. We're talking about federal court of appeals for a civil lawsuit. So there is no new evidence. There's no new information. There's no new legal argument. The only thing that they can actually attempt to argue to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals is that the judge misunderstood or misapplied the law. Okay? The laws that she cited in her ruling that dictate, not justify, dictate dismissal.
He has to, these are the steps. From here, the case moves to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, right? Drake's lawyers will file an appellate's brief, I believe it is, appellate's brief, arguing why the district court supposedly got it wrong. UMG will respond with their appellee brief, defending the ruling that it was rightfully dismissed. The Judge Vargas got it right. That's what they will be arguing. Drake's team can then reply one final time before the court decides whether to schedule oral arguments. And then in the oral arguments, both sides present before, I think it's 3 judges, a 3-judge panel. And this process can take months, like sometimes a full year. And unless the appellate court finds a major legal error in what Judge Vargas did and the courts did, the dismissal will likely stand.
Man, what a ride. Every time we think it's over, Drake hits us with another headline. From lawsuits to appeals, the saga keeps spinning, and PopPulse Reacts is here for every twist. If you enjoyed this compilation, drop a like, share this with the fam, and let us know which reactor had the craziest take. Until next time, stay tuned, stay loud, and stay PopPulse.